So I have a piece of brass, so I'm gonna tap, roll, rack. Well, hello folks, this is Yamil Sued for Gunstock Reviews. We're here at Cowtown USA Range in Peoria, Arizona with my friend Freddie Blish. How you doing, Freddie?
Always good to see you, brother.
Well, Freddie, like we already know, he is the owner, president at the Robar Companies, but he's also an instructor up at Gunfight. And today we're going to talk about a subject that nobody wants to talk about, which is malfunctions.
Yes.
Or when the pistol, in this case, doesn't do what you expect it to do.
Yes.
Okay, but there's a different term in the military, right?
Well, it's actually the term that we'll often hear, and people that are novices or have very little knowledge about firearms will use the word jam. Well, jam is something I put on my toast.
Yes.
And as a gunsmithing company like Robar, we'll have customers, my gun jams, okay, and what does that mean? It doesn't really describe what's occurring. So I actually wrote an article that's on our website. It's called Jam is Something I Put on My Toast. And you can Google it, Robar, jam is something I put on my toast. And it actually will take you through the cycles of operation for semi-automatic pistols. And then we talk about malfunctions and stoppages.
Okay.
And in the training industry, we kind of really mix the two terms up. In the military, a stoppage is something that you can clear on your own, and a malfunction is something that requires you to, a tool or something to fix it so that you can get the gun operating again.
Okay.
So unfortunately in the civilian training industry, you'll hear them referred to as like type 1, type 2, or type 3 malfunctions, or a type 4 malfunction. And it's really a misnomer, and they're really stoppages. But for the sake of our instruction today, we'll continue to follow the terminology that is used in the civilian training industry, and we'll refer to them as malfunctions, type 1s, type 2s, type 3s.
Okay. And of course, we're going to emphasize, instead of on the malfunctions, on the remedial action.
Correct. To
fix those malfunctions.
Yes.
And what is the first malfunction we're going to look at today?
The first is a type 1 malfunction, and that is typically a failure to fire or a failure to feed. Something has occurred where, when you press the trigger and the hammer or the striker was released or fell, and it hit the primer and nothing happened. We often refer to that in the military and law enforcement circles as the loudest sound in a gunfight.
Okay.
The hear that click, that'll be the loudest sound in a gunfight. Life just got really interesting really fast. So that failure to fire could be a result of a bad primer, but that's usually very rare with modern, well-manufactured ammunition. Ammunition you get from Federal, like American Eagle, or Winchester, or Remington. And, you think about the millions of rounds that they produce a year, and the likelihood of you having a bad primer is probably 99.999999999% not going to happen.
Okay.
But it can. The other is that failure to feed, where that round, for whatever reason, is the slide is not able to push the top round off the magazine and get it to feed up into the chamber. So there could be an obstruction in the chamber. Could be, maybe there's something on the feed ramp that needs to be deburred, or something like that.
Or something as simple as when you do an administrative reload, that you don't seat your magazine all the way in.
Yes.
And your slide cycles back and nothing happens.
Right, because the magazine wasn't fully seated. Correct.
Okay, so that's all sorts of reasons that we got to train how to do that correctly.
Yes.
How do we do that?
Okay, well, it's real simple here. I'm going to go ahead and load my Springfield Armory Defender.
Of course, we're using dummies.
Yes, using our dummy ammunition to do this demonstration. All right, so I'm, engaging my target or engaging my threat. I'm going to, in the sequence of operation, I hear this. Loudest sound in a gunfight. What I want to do is I want to roll the gun. Notice that my ejection port, by rolling the gun, I'm allowing gravity to work for me, and it's my friend. So I'm going to roll that gun, I'm going to tap the magazine, I'm going to rack the slide, and I'm going to come back up and I'll attempt to fire again. So all it is nothing more than, I hear that click, loudest sound of gunfight, tap, roll, rack, back into the fight.
Well, let me go ahead and do that with live ammo.
Yes.
One target, and we're just gonna go ahead and shoot it, and I have purposely created a malfunction on my second magazine.
Yes.
By putting a dummy on it, so
yes,
my first shot is gonna be bang, the second one is gonna be click,
yes,
and then I'm gonna perform that tap,
roll,
and rack.
Tap, roll, rack.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna load my pistol. This time is gonna be our Springfield Armory TRP stainless steel. Okay, I'm gonna remove that magazine. I'm gonna put in the one that has the dummy round. And I'm gonna fire. I wanna try firing again. Oh, that's the loudest sound in the gunfight, so I'm gonna roll, tap. There you go, and it worked.
Yes.
Gosh, Freddie, it works.
But now, some people may not have dummy rounds or have access to dummy rounds, so another way you can set this up is just with the pistol pointed down range, just release the magazine a little bit, because you've got a round in the chamber. So the magazine is released a little bit. That's going to set up a failure to feed, and so you should hear a bang, then you're going to get a click, and then again, tap, roll, rack.
Now let's try it again. I am going to do that. I'm going to check again. Okay. I'm going to release it slightly just by hitting the mag release. Just the magazine will remain there. It's not going to fall out. So I'm going to shoot it again once. And then when I try shoot it again, click. I'm going to tap, roll, rack, and get into the fight again. This is great. It works.
Very simple, and it keeps you in the fight.
Awesome. Okay, let me put the pistol away, put a new magazine in.
Yes.
And let's talk about what other malfunctions we have.
The other malfunction, of course, the next one would be the type 2 malfunctions. And a type 2 malfunction is typically a failure to eject.
Okay.
Meaning that the round doesn't fully eject from the pistol. So you can have a type 2 malfunction where you have a stovepipe. And that is where the cartridge case is looking like a stovepipe. It's straight up. The other version would be like basically the horizontal stovepipe. And then some other versions where the round didn't eject and it's kind of still horizontal but facing the direction of the barrel, and it's just caught in the slide, between the slide and the barrel. Let me grab a piece of brass off the ground and we can quickly show people what that'll look like.
Okay, and also, back in the day, when you had a stovepipe,
yes,
some trainers would say to run your hand on top of the slide to take that piece of brass out.
yes.
Is that a good idea?
Well, it will work. It is a way. However, a couple of reasons we don't teach that anymore. One, it's a great way to kind of slice your hand up in the process. But also, the way that we teach racking the slide and the other malfunctions that we clear where we grab the rear of the slide all works the same. So instead of teaching multiple methods to solve different solutions, we can teach one method that will solve all those problems.
Okay, great. Let's go pick up a piece of brass. Let's create a malfunction.
Yes.
And let's go try to clear it.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's go pick up some brass.
Yeah.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is going to clear a pistol.
Yes.
Visually and manually make sure the pistol is clear.
That's correct.
And we're going to create a malfunction.
Yes.
To practice.
To set this up, the easiest way to do it is with the slide locked to the rear. Go ahead and insert a fresh magazine.
Okay. With live ammo.
Yep. Now what I'm going to do is just place the brass right here and just let the slide go forward gently. There we go. Now what you have is a type 2 malfunction referred to as a stovepipe. The old method we would clear this way. The new method we're just going to grab back here, and it's just, guess what? You know what the steps are? Tap, roll, rack.
Same
all
thing.
Very simple. All right, when you're ready.
Okay, we are gonna fire, and oh gosh, it doesn't work. So I have a piece of brass, so I'm gonna tap, roll, rack.
Very
and bang.
simple. That's all there is to it.
And I imagine the same procedure is used for all the malfunctions, whether it's sticking up, sticking to the side, horizontally on the top.
That's exactly right. Whether it's, vertical, horizontal, or if it's parallel to the direction of the barrel, that method works for all of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic. And then our type 3 malfunction, what is it?
Type 3 malfunction is sometimes misnomered as a double feed, because with handguns, you really can't have a double feed. A double feed is when you have two live rounds competing for the same space. That you can, usually with rifles, particularly AR system, you can see a true double feed. But with a type 3 malfunction with handguns, most likely it is what we refer to as a failure to extract, meaning that the empty case is stuck in the chamber, the extractor slipped off of the case, came back, and then tried to feed a live round behind the empty case.
Okay.
And so that one is very simple too, because we're going to first attempt to clear it with tap, rack, roll. What we'll find is that probably won't work. But at night, you can't necessarily diagnose whether that is a type 3. So the first thing you want to do, low visibility, is that tap, roll, rack. Okay, that didn't solve the problem. Then what we're going to do is lock that slide to the rear. That takes pressure off the magazine. We're going to rip the magazine out. Okay, we can either store the magazine under our armpit or discard it if we know we have fresh magazines. Then you're going to rack that slide 3 times to make sure that if there's a piece of brass stuck in there, you're giving it about 3 chances to get that out of there so that you get the gun clear. And then you insert a fresh magazine, tap, roll, rack again, and back into the fight. And so what I'll do is I'll do a quick demonstration to kind of show what that's going to look like. And so first, let me just set this up. I'm going to go ahead and remove the magazine. We're going to just eject that round that was in there. One way that you can set this up is you can use a dummy round or a live round to place into the chamber. You could use a piece of brass, but usually the piece of brass, because it's expanded from having been fired, will fit real tight and might be difficult to get in there, but you can do that. And then you just release the slide and ride it forward. So now what we've done is we have set up essentially a type 3 malfunction. So that's what we're looking at there. So again, how do we clear this? Real simple. All I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is feel that mushy trigger. I'm going to tap, roll, rack. That didn't solve my problem. That tells me my day's really gone, bad. And I'm going to lock that slide to the rear, releasing pressure off of the magazine. I'm now going to strip it out. So I strip that magazine out. You can tuck it under your armpit, if you want to retain it, and store it for that way you know where it is. You're going to grab your fresh magazine, come back up. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Once we've stored that magazine, you're going to grab the slide, rack, rack, rack. That makes sure anything that might have been in there is out. Bring that fresh magazine in, flat to flat, insert the magazine, rack, and I'm back in the fight. If I don't need this magazine, I just let it fall to the ground.
Okay, awesome. Well, let me go ahead and set up a malfunction myself.
Yes.
And let's get ready to do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, to set up the malfunction, I'm going to lock the slide back. I'm going to set up putting a dummy round in it and another magazine that has a dummy round on top. Created the situation. It's a failure to extract. I'm going to go out, mushy trigger, tap, roll, rack. Try again. Oops, didn't work. Going to slide this slide back, lock the slide back.
Yep.
Strip the magazine. I'm going to stick it in my armpit.
Yep.
Rack, rack, rack. I'm going to grab another magazine with live ammo. I dropped that magazine because I had another magazine in my belt. But if I didn't have that magazine, I would have used
Absolutely.
the magazine that I had.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That looked really good. And you may not have noticed it, but your viewers will, that it took the second rack on that of the 3 before that round ejected from the chamber. And so that's why 3, 1, a 50% chance it's not going to. 2, usually about 90% chance that round will eject. The third one is just, you never know. It doesn't take that much more to do it and get back in a fight.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, Freddie, do we have anything else, any other malfunctions that we need to discuss?
Let's talk about a type 4 malfunction, and it's a malfunction that is not very well understood, and it's usually basically the slide just doesn't go all the way forward.
Okay.
And sometimes it could be an obstruction, and sometimes it just might be, you know, a little, you know, around, it might be just a little out of spec or something, but it just doesn't, for whatever reason, you have a weak recoil spring or something where the slide just doesn't go all the way forward, and there's a real easy solution to fix that. So here, I'll just quickly set this up. So a type 4 malfunction just means that the slide is just slightly out of battery. I'm just going to manually hold it there like that, so when on the camera they can see how it just didn't go fully into battery. And the easy way to fix it, just like that.
Okay, just
Yep.
give it a tap.
Just give it a good tap, like that, and that'll usually fix it. If you've tapped it hard like that and it doesn't solve the problem, then tap, roll rack.
Okay, so yeah, really, if he doesn't want to go in,
Don't keep forcing it.
don't keep forcing it because it's gonna make it worse.
Worse.
Okay, awesome. Let me go try it real quick with live ammo here.
Yeah.
Like you did, I'm gonna hold it back with my finger,
Yeah, just a little bit, just to set it up, just
Yeah,
for the
'cause-
camera.
and then push.
That's it.
Done.
That's it.
Well, awesome. Thanks, Freddie. Thanks for teaching also all these 4 ways to these remedial actions.
Yes.
We call it this way. 4 ways that you can keep your pistol running in a situation when the pistol doesn't do what you want it to do. So stay tuned for more from Gunstock Reviews. We have a whole lot more information that Freddie's going to help us bring us. Thanks, buddy.
You got it.
Thanks. Stay tuned for more.
Thank you for watching Gunstock Reviews. Please visit our website at www.gunstockreviews.com for more exclusive content. Please visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/gunstockreviews. Your contributions would be greatly appreciated and help us grow our selections and frequency of videos.